Hey guys, this is Marcus Herman, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm doing a giveaway of 2 free copies of College Football 25 if I reach 1,000 subscribers by July. So please hit that subscribe button, like the video, and comment your favorite team and the system that you will be wanting the copy of the game on, and you will be entered in to win the giveaway. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy this video. With the new EA Sports College Football video game franchise coming back, I wanted to make a wish list video of stuff I would love to see come back or return, or even stuff that has never been in the game but implement it into the new franchise. I'm going to start off with create a team. I want an ability to do it in-game, kind of like NHL, how you could create your own team and your own uniforms and create your own arena, but of course this time it would be your own stadium, and I want it like as in-depth as possible. So that means the color of the seats, how many sections, size of the video boards, video board displays, like what type of presentation style do I want on the video boards, custom stadium sounds, what do I want played during certain moments of the game. I want ability to create my own mascot if I'm creating my own team from scratch. I want an ability to create my own super fan in the crowd, that sometimes there will be cutscenes throughout the game that will show the fan that I create. And also, it would be cool to be able to create our own game day signs that we can see in the background during game day presentations. Another thing I would love to implement into the game would be able to customize like special games, like Penn State's whiteout homecoming games for your team, being able to like customize and pick which games are special, and being able to have like a whiteout, a stripe out, a checkerboard out like Tennessee does, or you can just do a primary color out or a secondary color out, stuff like that. I just want more control and more customization, because that will make the best game ever, the more customization we have as players. And that would just create a fun, like, it's not like super important, but it would just be cool to, edit which games are going to be prime time, which games are going to be, homecoming, all that stuff. And with that comes creating your own rivalry games, because when you had your own created teams back then, you didn't really have rivalries, and rivalries are a big part of college football. And if I'm creating a team, I want an ability to create rivalries, and might not get as in depth of creating our own trophies. I mean, that would be insane and crazy if we could do that, but just creating rivalries on paper, that would be cool to edit. And even if you take a real life program, let's say, for example, I'm a Gopher fan, and one of our rivalry is the Michigan Wolverines, and we haven't won in years. So let's say, not saying I want to, but let's just say I want to take that rivalry out, because it hasn't really been relevant. It hasn't been a competition. So I can like edit which rivalries stay with my program and create new ones if I want to. So ability to do that. And also I want real coaches in the game. So I know they won't be in this game, but in the future installments, I would love to see real coaches' likeness in the game to make it more realistic, since the real players are in the game. And I would love to see Mascot Mashup back. That is such a fun, over-the-top mode, and I would just love to see mascots juking and jumping over each other and all that crazy stuff on next gen ability, like graphics. Like, I think that would just be a really fun game to play with friends, or just to play on your own when you're bored. Also, I would love to have the ability to upgrade our stadiums and facilities over time. Let's say we're taking over a 1-star program and we are turning them into a powerhouse. It doesn't make sense if our school still has a stadium that's only like 20,000 capacity. It'd be awesome to be able to create and upgrade stadiums for our Dynasty teams, real or created teams, over time, because we weren't really able to do that in the past. And the facilities and the stadium would just stay the same, and you're like a 5-time national championship. It just doesn't make sense. So the ability to upgrade stadiums and facilities over time would be a great addition to this franchise. Another thing is the ability to change recruiting difficulty. So this is not something like I would really use or whatever, but for the casual gamer, if they want it to be easy to recruit, then they should have the ability to change the difficulty. Just more customization, more control will make a great game. You know, you can make the recruiting really hard. You can make the recruiting really easy. You can make it moderate. And also the ability to toggle NIL on or off, just so we have choices and we can make our Dynasty however we want. Some of us would love to, go to custom conferences and put it back to the good old days, as people would say, and, play with those teams that we weren't able to play in previous years. So toggling on and off NIL would be a cool addition if we wanted to do a Dynasty mode without that being triggered. And then I would also love to see, this is more going into presentation wise, I'd love to see more women sideline reporters, because college football is huge with that. Erin Andrews, Holly Rowe, all that stuff, like, to just have it more authentic, and like definitely when they add coaches into the game, to have their voices in the game, and like presentation, like before halftime, sideline reporter talks to the coaches and they give a little speech. And it would be cool, as if you're in Dynasty, you have the ability to choose what dialogue you want to say as a coach. So it's not just a cutscene that's predetermined. You get to choose what the coach says to the sideline reporter. I think that would be really cool. And an in-depth pre-game show. So I don't like the way Madden is, where it's all, quick and cut up. Like, I'd love to see an actual, full-on pre-game show where, maybe it starts out with panning around the campus and seeing the people pile into the stadium and, going through the gates. And then, we see warm-ups, and then we see the marching band on the field, and then we see, the teams coming out of the tunnels, and all that presentation that happens before the game. I would love to actually see it, like, pan out, instead of like the way Madden does it, where it's just like quick and into the game. Because the big thing about college football is the pre-game traditions and just the pageantry of everything involved in college football. So I want it to be authentic, and I don't want it to just be like a quick little mashup video before the game. I want to feel the energy of that game and make it as authentic as possible. And that would also go with a halftime show. I want not only halftime to be involved in what they think of our game that we're playing, but also to go into other games around the country, or big upsets, or games in our conference that might determine our ranks or our standings. Stuff like that would be really helpful. And also, like, for pregame, going back to pregame, having the college game day aspect, seeing which mascot head they choose or whatever that is, to see who they pick, to win the game, instead of it just being on the game, like in the, about game. I want to see an actual presentation of it, who they choose and who they think will win and all that stuff. And that also goes with the post-game show. I want a recap of my game, but I also want more of a recap about other games around the country too. And like I said, other conference games that might determine my standings, or games that might help me out or that affect our program. That'd be really cool to see in-depth presentation like that. And then moving on into something else, I want a really detailed Road to Glory mode with cutscenes. Not like cheesy cutscenes like Madden or NBA 2K. I'm talking like, I want to see my player pick up the hat where he goes to school. I want cutscenes where I'm interviewing different colleges that want to give me a scholarship. I want to see cutscenes of me in class and, stuff like that. Really in-depth, authentic stuff. I don't want a predetermined story, because nobody, and I think I speak for everyone, nobody likes a predetermined story because it just doesn't feel personable. Like, I want to feel connected to my player that I create, and having a predetermined storyline with, your own nickname, like in Madden, it was Cap. It's like, I don't want to be called Cap. Stop calling me Cap. And why do I have a black guy's voice when I'm a white guy? All that stuff is like a predetermined story. I don't want that. I just want to see cool cutscene presentations and, picking my hat for the college. I want to see, if my player wins a Heisman, I want to see an actual presentation of me winning the Heisman Trophy. I want, all that stuff. I want actual, real cutscenes and presentation for that, to make it just more in depth and more believable, and like it matters, instead of just getting a notification that I won the Heisman. I want to see it. And ability to transfer in the off season if I choose to in Road to Glory. Like, I would love to start at like a low end school, maybe win the conference there, and then maybe after 2 seasons I want to transfer to a big name school where I've already upgraded my player enough where I'd be a starter at a Big Ten or SEC school, so I could transfer. Just lots of options and customization would make this game one of the best in history, honestly. And also in Road to Glory and Dynasty, I would love to see past season award winners and champions, like the history of college football, that since I started my Dynasty or Road to Glory, I want to see like records that were broken. I want to see, who won, who was in the playoffs the previous years and all that stuff. I want to be able to have a track record of that and see it, instead of just like a new year and all that stuff is lost. I think it would make it more cohesive if we could be able to record all the years that we are in our Dynasty. And I want to bring back the celebrate with your mascot. I wasn't really old enough when that game was out to be able to play it, but I see videos on YouTube and it's like, that's so cool. Like, it's just a little thing, but it's like, once you score a touchdown, to be able to go up to your mascot and give him like a chest bump or a fist bump or dance with him or something, like that would just be so much fun. Like, that's what I love about college football, is like that little stuff. And just to bring that back into the game would be a really fun, presentation aspect. And, go celebrate with that mascot. You scored. And then last thing here that I would want in the game is in-depth studio updates. So instead of just them talking about the games, I want to see actual gameplay highlights of the game. So if they're talking about another game, I want to actually see it as if it's real life and they're showing highlights of like scoring plays, not just updating when they score, but actually showing real gameplay highlights to make it just more realistic and the presentation to feel more lifelike, instead of just saying, well, the Michigan Wolverines and Ohio State Buckeyes are head to toe. I want to see the shootout highlights. Like, it would just make everything more in depth and just overall just better, just to have more presentation. So yeah, I'm a big presentation guy, if you can't tell. That's why I love the college games, is because I feel like Madden just rushes into the game. I loved when college football would actually take its time and use the ESPN presentation and do the studio updates, do the pre-game show, and all that stuff. I love when it's in depth and feels like a real broadcast. That's what I love about college football. So that's my wish list for College Football 25 and future iterations of the game.